In a major blow to both Donald Trump and House Republicans to start 2024, House Democrats have released a bombshell report outlining evidence that Donald Trump took in at least $7.8 million from 20 foreign entities while he was in office, including $5.5 million from China, one of our largest adversaries. The second largest spender was Saudi Arabia, spending more than $615,000 at Trump World Tower and Trump International Hotel. And here's why this is especially damaging for the right. They are currently immersed in an impeachment effort against Joe Biden for alleged foreign corruption that they've yet to find an ounce of proof for, all the while contending with actual proof, actual evidence of that very phenomenon with Donald Trump. In other words, now the Republicans are tasked with trying to impeach Joe Biden for allegations that they have no evidence of, all the while supporting a guy who did do what they're alleging Biden did, but with actual evidence to the tune of almost $8 million. Almost like lining up behind a criminal might pose some issues if your principal attack is corruption. Here's a full list of the countries that directly channeled money to Donald Trump. And keep in mind, this isn't some vague fear-mongering about buying influence with no evidence to actually prove any of it. This is direct evidence as disclosed in court, showing that Trump profited directly from foreign countries while he was president. The notion that any of these people could claim that Biden is the peak of corruption while ignoring actual, tangible corruption goes to show what a joke this whole impeachment effort by the GOP really is. Now, you'll be shocked to learn that thus far, House Republicans don't seem to mind that Trump made millions in office from foreign governments, while arguing that unfounded allegations of Biden doing the same thing are somehow disqualifying. James Cohen, chair of the House Oversight Committee, said former President Trump has legitimate businesses, but the Bidens do not. He claimed that the Bidens had made 3 times as much as Mr. Trump had from foreign governments by cashing in on the Biden name. No goods or services were provided other than access to Joe Biden and the Biden network, which he says, of course, with zero evidence to actually prove any of it. And the irony here is that for all the reasons they make believe that Joe Biden is dangerous, including their imaginary claims of foreign entanglements, Donald Trump did exactly that. If you think he was going to pursue tough foreign policy on Saudi Arabia, for example, then listen to this and see if it changes your mind.
Saudi Arabia, and I get along great with all of them. They buy apartments from me, they spend 40 million, 50 million. Am I supposed to dislike them? I like them very much.
But sure, that guy is going to take a hard line on Saudi Arabia. Got it. And look, of course this isn't about any actual corruption because, again, if it was, then maybe the GOP would have any reservations at all about rallying behind the king of emoluments violations, Donald Trump. And instead, the entire GOP leadership has officially endorsed the guy, even though so-called moderates like Tom Emmer and Steve Scalise, meaning there isn't a single person who's willing to criticize Donald Trump, and yet these people have the shamelessness to then go on in their soapboxes and pretend that Biden is corrupt because he may or may not have done the thing that Donald Trump absolutely did do. But then I guess when you're operating in a cult, basic logic tends to take a backseat to groveling fealty. And look, as far as the legitimacy of the Biden impeachment effort is concerned, I actually don't think Democrats are too concerned. Here are a few of them making it clear just how serious this whole effort actually is.
So here we go. Here's the story. I'm going to do the story even quicker than you just did it. 2 brothers loan each other money. They pay it back. Not in office. End of story. One brother gives one brother money. The other brother pays it back. No one is elected at all. They're both private citizens. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, it could be this. It could be that. We think it's this. We think that. No evidence. We're back to the same thing. Listen, James, this is your friend Jared talking to you. Don't make me continue to embarrass you in committee. I mean, I'll bring the board again. I'll start drawing things. Okay. Don't make me do it. Like I actually feel bad when I make you look like a fool because I'm just exposing what you're doing in committee. And by the way, you don't listen to me. Even the Republicans that serve with you on committee, they think you're a jackass. They've told me that because you've embarrassed not just yourself, you've embarrassed them. That impeachment hearing was embarrassing. Your own witness said there wasn't any evidence. So do yourself a favor, take a breath, right? And don't come to don't have a new hearing over 2 brothers loaning each other money when nobody was in office. And that's my the more you know, James.
Well, Brian, we thought they'd given the whole thing up after the first impeachment hearing, when their own witnesses testified that there was not remotely sufficient evidence to justify an impeachment. They didn't even see evidence of a crime, much less an impeachable offense. So now they come back with this huge stack of bank records. And the most that they can pull out of it is that Joe Biden repaid a bank loan that his brother got. That's not a crime. That's not an offense. If anything, that's being a good brother. He's helping his family members out. The folly continues. Some reporter said to me today on the way in, do you think if you guys agreed to have an acting speaker pro tem, you would demand that they end their impeachment inquiry towards Joe Biden? And I said, we'd be doing them a favor at that point. They should be asking us if they can end it, because it makes them look utterly absurd and ridiculous.
So yeah, doesn't exactly seem like James Comer's big plan of taking down Joe Biden was working. And that was before Comer's own deity was hit with actual black and white evidence of the very corruption that he was projecting onto Joe Biden. Although if Comer and the rest of the GOP actually bought the bullshit they were slinging about Biden and the dangers of having a compromised president, then they would be doing everything in their power to ensure that Trump doesn't get anywhere near the Oval Office again. The fact that they're doing the opposite is all the proof you need that it's not the truth or our national security they're concerned about. It is consolidating power for themselves and their God King, Donald Trump. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.